Well, Shabbat Shalom, Torah fans. So we've got a few minutes before the program begins. And, as it tells us in Thessalonians 5:18, the first letter to the Thessalonians, it instructs us to give thanks in all things. And so as I get down to the end of the week, I like to reflect and send out some thank you notes. And so before we get started tonight in the program, we'll be on the air in just a few minutes. I've got a little bit behind in my schedule this week, and so I hope you don't mind. I'd like to get down and write just a few of my thank you notes for this week, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, good. Perry, our director, can you put on a little of the thank you note writing music, please? Oh, that's very nice, very, very pensive. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Thank you, President Obama, for making Washington super efficient through your use of executive orders. 3 branches of government really are too many. Thank you, National Pork Board, for successfully branding pig as the other white meat, because enjoy an abomination is genuinely a lousy motto. Thank you, Worcester, Massachusetts, for offering free flu shots as an incentive at your Goods for Guns Turn In Your Firearms event, clearly demonstrating that the deception of post-Christian America is pretty much complete. Thank you, Apple Computers, for providing us all with iPods, iPhones, iMacs, and iPads, because we were having a little trouble achieving completely guilt-free self-centeredness before you made it totally cool. It was right to Apple headquarters. Okay. Thank you, pharmaceutical companies, for enabling us to take reality-altering psychotropic drugs instead of taking personal responsibility. Should send a copy to the FDA. Thank you, Monsanto, for creating both Agent Orange and genetically modified crops, because I love the crunch of Roundup Ready cornflakes in the morning. Just about finished here. Bear with me for a moment. Thank you, video game makers, for allowing us to be criminally violent without having to get off the couch. Thank you, Christianity's 40,000 plus different denominations, for giving me so much religious garbage to rant about. Without you, I'd probably be a disgruntled door greeter at Wall of China Mart. I think this is about all the time we have before we go on the air. And finally, thank you, Yahovah, for creating the Sabbath day, because the sun is now set, and it's Shabbat Night Live!
It's Shabbat Night Live from Charlotte, North Carolina, with your host, Michael Rood. I'm Ted Clayton, inviting you to join Michael and his guests from the Lydia Project, Judith Rood, author of the Passover booklet, Behold the Lamb, Lee Rude Franson, and musical guest, Mishkanim. Now, here he is, the Messianic Matador, Michael Rood.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Torah fans. Welcome to Shabbat Night Live, coming direct to you from beautiful downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, the Messianic Hebrew Roots Disneyland of planet Earth. Thank you for joining us for the leaven-free gospel of the kingdom. No takanot, no Miocene. This is a no man-made religion zone. We are restoring the Hebrew roots of the Christian faith without dragging you through 1,600 years of paganized churchianity or through the thousands of man-made rules of rabbinic Judaism. This is the faith once delivered to the saints, and this is what we are earnestly contending for. We are so glad to have you with us. We have an audience who has come from really around the United States to be here in the audience. Shabbat Night Live is being broadcast in over 127 countries around the globe on prime time, as well as YouTube on the A Rood Awakening channel, and also on the www.aroodawakening.tv website, where our programs are being broadcast in HD and also on audio only for those who have a little bit lower speed internet and cannot keep up with the video. So you can go from YouTube, you can go from our site and go right to the audio only, and you can have it right there in front of you and join in with the festivities tonight. Also, you can, after the event, you can chat and make your connections around the world. We have thousands of people that join us during this time and also during the next few days, so be sure to spend some time this weekend getting to know the saints around the world. Also, we have a downloadable podcast in HD that's also available. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of exciting things going on. Take your astronomically and agriculturally corrected biblical Hebrew calendar. This is the calendar by which the feasts of the Lord were kept during the temple period. It is a celestial terrestrial calendar used in the Second Temple period, in which the Creator's calendar was based on the visible sighting of the first sliver of the new moon. 2 witnesses went up to meet with the Sanhedrin and the high priest to give their sighting of the new moon. It was sanctified, the trumpets were sounded, and that was the beginning of the Rosh Chodesh, the renewed moon, or the beginning of the month. And also, it's also based on the Aviv barley in the land of Israel each spring that determines the beginning of the year. And here we are in the 11th month, the pagan calendar, and on your calendar you see that we've included the pagan calendar. Because while you're learning the biblical calendar, if you ever lose track, you simply leave your house, walk down the street, and look for a pagan. When you find them, ask them what the date is, come home, look at your calendar, and there it is, right below the pagan date is the biblical date. It's like we thought of everything for this calendar to teach you how the Creator's calendar works. So here we are on the pagan date. It is February 8th at sunset, so it is now the 27th day of the 11th month. We are now just 2 Sabbaths intervening before our Purim celebration, and 7 Sabbaths intervening before Passover this year. And so you do not want to miss this. We have, as a matter of fact, we do this calendar so that, as Shaul said in the book of Hebrews, do not forsake the assembling of yourselves together as a manner of some is, but encourage each other more and more with these feasts. These prophetic shadow pictures of good things to come as you see the day of Yeshua's return approaching. So as things get darker, this is when we go back to the Creator's reckoning of time. Not the pagan calendar invented by the Pope, not the makeshift calendar, mathematical calendar invented by Hillel II, and the last act of the Sanhedrin before going into exile was to make a new calendar in the year 359 of the Common Era. The Almighty says, He runs the universe according to His calendar, His time clock. Yeshua said, do not follow the Takanot and Masim of the Pharisees, the laws that the Pharisees enact that change biblical law, and yet the Pharisees said, we are making Takanot. We are changing the calendar. What did Yeshua say? Don't follow them. Don't do it. And so that's why we stand alone on the planet Earth. We go back to the biblical calendar because the creator of the heavens and the earth still runs the universe according to his calendar. Tonight, we are inviting you to join us in the tent of Abraham and for the next 2 weeks on Shabbat Night Live for Purim, the making of the King's Bride. Tonight, enough with the myrrh already, and we're going to be in the tent of Abraham for that. Next week, where you want to put that gallows, where? And next week, we're going to find out what a gallows is in the Bible, not what it is in a Italian Western, okay? Because they're two different things completely. And then we are going to have Monday Night Live. That is going to be February 25th, which will be Adar 14. And that night it's going to be the whole Megillah. It's going to be a night of food, festivities, fun, and teaching. Dress in your favorite or unfavorite Purim character, and we're going to go through the entire Megillah of Hadassah, of Esther. That night, it is going to be fun. So register in advance for that. We have the Rood Awakening Tour of Israel. The Chronological Gospel is coming up. It is filled to capacity. Get ready for next spring. If you're not on this tour, you can't be on a Rood Awakening tour. And ladies and gentlemen, there's not another tour on the planet like this. Of course, you can take a tour with 2,000 other people. They run you through all the pagan sites. You can go to the Church of the Holy Peter where Jesus had his first falafel, okay? But you cannot get to the archaeological extravaganza without a Rood Awakening tour. This is why I've spent over a decade doing these tours in the land of Israel. Nobody else does a tour like we do it, okay? So save up for the year. Don't go with the second-rate tour out there. They're a dime a dozen. They are a physical and spiritual embarrassment. That's what they are. So I encourage you to go the right way on this. We want to invite you to be a part of the Bring It to the World campaign, the Bring It to the World ambassadors, because as I said, we're in over 127 countries, prime time, and we have put it all on the line to reach out to the world out there, to speak the word across the nations, but in order to stay on the air and keep moving, we depend upon you, to whom we are ministering now. You have got to stand with us. And so if you want to join us in that, then you will be part of the exclusive Ambassador Club. Every month you get a DVD that is only available to the people on the club. Passover, as I said, we have 7 Sabbaths intervening before Passover. This year it is Passover, Behold the Lamb. March 29th through the 31st, it is going to start out with Shabbat Night Live, and then an entire weekend in the gospel chronology of the last week of Yeshua's life up through the resurrection. You don't want to miss this. We're going to have the Passover Seder at the close of the Sabbath. It is a true extravaganza. Now remember, this is not really Passover. It is celebrating Passover. There's one place where you can keep Passover, and that is in Jerusalem at the temple. However, if anyone's bothered to check the news lately, the temple has been destroyed. Happened 68 of the Common Era, not 70 as the Pope teaches, okay? 68 of the Common Era, it's been down for a long time. The priesthood is in disarray. Nobody can keep Passover, but we can celebrate Passover because it's the most beautiful picture of the redemption of the Messiah as the Passover lamb. We also, I'll tell you, we have got so many exciting festivities. This is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Grand Ballroom of the Renaissance Suites. The regular rate for this, $259 a night. Why so much for the regular rate? Because you get a living room, a kitchenette, a refrigerator, microwave, sofa bed in the living room, and a separate bedroom suite. But for the entire weekend, it is $79 a night for the Rood Awakening Passover Extravaganza, Behold the Lamb. So register for this now. Early registration for adults is $79. After March 1st, it's $99. Children under 12 is $39. After March 1st will be $49. This includes the Passover meal, and I'll tell you that one night cost us more than what the registration is. Those of you who have not been to any of the Rood Awakening events, we spend more on you than what the event or what the registration is. We just need to make sure that you're going to be there, because then you are going to get a taste of the slice of heaven. It is a value at twice the price. Mrs. Noah is going to be there, and I'll tell you, Mrs. Noah is a prolific children's author. Mrs. Noah is there for the children 12 and under, and she takes, no, she's not going to read all these books to you. I'm just showing you this woman, Mrs. Noah, is just a gem, a treasure, and the children love this. So do not miss this event. We also have the first and third Sundays of every month, 10 o'clock in the morning, we have a men's fellowship. We don't know really what to call it. We thought of tired of religious hockey foddy, which is an Arabic term, which means pretty much what it sounds like, or where there is no ox, the stall is clean fellowship. In other words, we get into some real stuff here. This is the first and third Sunday morning of each month. We have organic coffee. We are going through the chronological Gospels, and next time we meet, which is the third Sunday, that is when, just about the same time that Yeshua was mikvahed. And so we're going to follow Yeshua in his ministry all the way around the year. This is going to be absolutely great. Tonight, Shabbat Night Live in the Tent of Abraham. Again, enough with the myrrh already. We're going to be back into the Megillah of Hadassah. And we also have a special guest, Lee Rude Franson, the author of Behold the Lamb, an original Messianic celebration of Passover. And also musical guest, Mishkanim. They are an original Messianic lyricist and composers. Howie and Aileen are going to be back with us as our musical guest. And so we're going to be right back in just a moment with the director of the Linear Project, Judith Rude, right after a word for our sponsors, which happens to be you.
Around the world today, people are hungry for answers. They're asking, who am I? Is this all that I am? And praying to gods of wood and stone, who cannot hear and will not answer. Who will help them understand? As followers of the Messiah, we know the truth that sets men free, the truth about the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who sent his son Yeshua so that we may have eternal life with him.
And the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
On November 2nd, 2012, A Root Awakening International began to take the word of the Messiah to over 150 countries around the world on Inspiration TV and the Church Channel. But we need your help. Now you can partner with Michael and Judith Rude to sponsor one of these countries, as together we bring it to the world. Your sponsorship will help cover the cost of staying on the air in the country of your choice. Today, you can join the Ambassadors Club by sponsoring a country for as little as $100 per month, or a one-time gift of $1,200. As a thank you, Michael would like for you to receive our Bring It to the World Ambassadors Club package.
I am sponsoring Sweden.
I am sponsoring Germany.
This package includes this beautiful prayer journal and pen to write your daily reflections of prayer and praises. You will also receive an A Root Awakening coffee mug that will remind you daily of your partnership with Michael and Judith, and a car decal that you can proudly display as a sign of your commitment to bring it to the world. Additionally, each month you'll receive an exclusive teaching from Michael Root on DVD that is only available to Ambassador Club members. These teachings are powerful lessons that will inspire you and enhance your walk with Yeshua.
We can go back because we have the ancient text of the Gospel of John.